Am I weird for thinking that?
Sean is stewing.
No, AJ, let's keep talking about this. Hey, we're the horror guys here.
Yeah. You know, if you want my opinion.
Sean, go ahead. I just had to get that.
I love what just happened to me. You guys are like red in the face, pissed at this movie. And I'm just like, it was one of the 5 movies that I picked. Please, I haven't said a word yet.
What's up, guys? Is the Confused Breakfast. That song you just heard just won Iowa Podcast Award for Best Original Score.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't think it did. No, that's fine. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Confused Breakfast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
Yeah.
It's hard to beat the ease of the modern era streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your couch. But there was something truly special about heading to Blockbuster to pick out a movie by hand, because now you have a ton of free time since you didn't die on the plane that you were supposed to be on, and you have 39 days to kill before the memorial service happens.
Nice.
On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. My name is Mike Schulte. Joining me, as always, 2 dudes who always take shits together in airports before they board their plane. Sean Pryor and AJ Venz, how the heck are you?
Very good that I'm not flying anytime soon after watching this movie.
Look, man, sometimes you just gotta throw out a wicked cable and pass a wicked cable in.
Oh, that's going to be a line that's going to live on forever. People are going to start saying that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a troop poop.
So Chrissy and Maxine, or whoever the fuck it is, doesn't walk in after me, and it doesn't strain your eyes and it's like, stop talking about poop. Let's just go to the bathroom.
For some reason, I can smell you.
Actually, I don't want you to sit next to me while I take a poop. So how about you just go now, and then maybe I'll go.
Just please. Please and thank you. I'll go after you, directly after.
There'll be 15 more minutes of this conversation when we get to that.
Thank God.
Well, boys, on today's episode, we discuss the original movie of a franchise that gave us 6 films, 9 novels, and 2 comic books. Whoa. The first theatrically released teen horror film to not feature a corporeal murderer. A movie that forced all of us to look at the mundane and average items and scenarios of life as if they were all part of an elaborate and gruesome part of our own death. We are, of course, talking about 2000's Final Destination.
Yeah.
Well, dang it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with the Confused Breakfast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy wherever you are in the world. Take it away, boys.
So this was actually, if you were a member of our Patreon, patreon.com/Confused Breakfast, this is where you get to vote on upcoming movies. We'd like to give a theme to it. I believe this was Sean's. He came up with Summer Horror.
Summer Horror.
This movie won with 29% of the vote. Following that, 23% was The Faculty, 19% I Know What You Did Last Summer, 15% Return of the Living Dead, 14% Lake Placid.
Wow.
If you don't agree with that, you can join patreon.com/Confused Breakfast. Get on the next vote. We have live watch parties. We're voting on upcoming movies. There's over 150 bonus audio episodes waiting for you. You can sign up, and then you can immediately cancel, and you still have 30 days to do whatever you want on there. So please go check it out. It's one of the best ways to support this podcast. And if you're new to it, we're going to be reviewing Final Destination scene by scene with a modern eye. But in order to do that properly, we must first discuss it with pure nostalgia. AJ, tell us the first time you saw this movie and how scared you were.
Really wanted the Faculty to win, but that's fine. Yes, this extra spooky movie here, guys, and we're not even in Halloween. I feel like I'm getting gypped.
Yes, you are, brother.
This is a joke on AJ. Fine. Sean gets his way. Ugh. And the Final Destination. Final Destination. I have seen this movie before, guys, so I can give it a rating. The problem is like I saw a lot of this through. I honestly think more through the guise of like hanging out with friends and purposefully like not trying to pay attention to the movie. You know what I mean? But that being said, there are some upon rewatch there are some distinct things that came back through that we'll get to, I suppose. Didn't really care for the movie, obviously. I don't really like spooky movies. I don't like scary movies. Not necessarily my thing. I've been coming around on them a little bit more and more. I will go ahead and give this. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 3.65.
Wow.
3.65. I'll go next. I hated this movie when I first saw it. I am very scared of this. We're talking about the time frame where I saw Independence Day, like a couple years earlier in this, and thought that aliens were really going to come to Earth. Like, I just believed everything I saw on screen.
Yeah.
And so I thought this was a real thing, and I hated the fact of it. I was a scared little kid, and I did not like this. 2.5 for me,
Wow.
nostalgically.
Go. Yeah.
I like refuse to watch any of the sequels. I've never seen any of the sequels because I'm like,
absolutely.
no thanks.
Yeah.
Sean, what about you, bro?
I first watched this. My stepmom, while she was living in Illinois, we were visiting, and I was maybe 9, 10, something like that. And
Here's a movie
we
for you.
started watching
Here you
this.
go.
I don't know if I was like doing something upstairs, and I just came down and just like couldn't take my eyes off it. But it was like the first scene and all the setup and everything, and then the plane goes down. I'm like, so that's it. Like I thought it was like a short film, or like I caught it at the tail end of a movie that was already playing, you know. And so that's all I had seen of it until I actually watched the entire movie. Maybe 6 years later.
Okay.
So I was like only 16 or something like that. And I watched it, and then it still scared me. It still scared the hell out of me because all you do is look for signs with this shit, you know? Like a fan, like a fan whirling above me. I'm like, that'll just come down and kill me right now.
Right now.
I'm seeing the signs. I'm smelling the whatever I'm smelling, you know? So it did scare me. I'm going to give this a 5.
But this was, let's put it frankly, this was when scaring you was not a good thing.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're pretty low. We do have an executive producer named Josh Miller on the show today. Good to have you back, buddy. He says, I'm looking forward to this one. I feel like or maybe it's just me, referring to this movie quite a bit in real life. I just never want to get Final Destinationed. Logging trucks, losing their load, plane crashes, getting smashed by a bus, my house blowing up, all everyday fears for me, especially all the clothes I dry in my bathtub using my clothesline. That thing will eventually kill me. It's a clothesline I most certainly stole from a Motel 6. Take that, Tom Baudet, for having an increasingly shitty hotel from ever-rising prices. Fun fact I just learned, Tom Baudet is just a voice actor and has nothing to do with the company whatsoever.
I'm Tom Baudet. We'll keep
Tom
the lights
Baudet.
on for you.
What else in my life is a lie now? With the advent of Amazon, this would be easy to get. Way back in the year 2000, only motels and cruise ships could get them. I certainly saw this one in theaters, but surprise, 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 I've seen most of the movies covered in this podcast in theaters. I have no profound memory of seeing this or when it originally came out. I would believe the late 90s as much as the early 2000s. I do remember enjoying it, finding the story somewhat unique and a good twist on the horror suspense movie. I have certainly seen all the sequels, or at least I'm supremely confident I have, but really, you've seen one, you've seen them all. That being said, if I came across someone who hasn't seen it, I would definitely recommend it, but I would stop there. Definitely not a must-see. Has Michael Guiliano seen this? I feel like he is pretty lucky to get to see a bunch of these movies for the first time. Nostalgically, I give it a 6.11. Fellas, this is going to be pretty low. That's going to be a 4.35. 4.32 for us. And we're going to find out where that lands. I just need to get this little thing to work here. You know, just this part of the thing where it's
the
just,
one thing you're
it's just
looking
not
at.
seeming to get to where I want it to go.
It will, though. Like, right about now-ish.
Well, you know, you got to find the ratings part of it. And there...
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's there. Right over here.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. So what did I say it was, guys?
4.32.
4.32 nostalgically. Wow. 4.32, third from the bottom of any movie we've seen. We did like Jaws slightly better than this, but we did not like The Shining at all compared to this movie.
All right.
So
Big old ouch.
it's a big old ouch for this movie. But luckily, this is just nostalgic, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to go strictly into modern day now, and we got to learn the important details of the movie first from Sean. What do you got, buddy?
Produced by Glenn Morgan, Craig Perry, and Warren Zide. Story by Jeffrey Reddick. Screenplay by Glenn Morgan, Jeffrey Reddick, and James Wong. Not Juan.
Okay.
Cinematography by
Not
Robert
Wong.
McLaughlin. He also did The One, Cursed, Final Destination 3, Dragon Ball Evolution. Oh no. But then he's got some good stuff. Black Xmas, the remake of Black Christmas, is actually pretty decent. A bunch of TV episodes, including 8 episodes of Game of Thrones.
Hey, don't take the Christ out of Christmas, okay?
Sorry.
Please and thank you.
Music by Shirley Walker. She also did Batman, the Mask of the Phantasm animated movie, Escape from L.A., Final Destination 2, Willard, Final Destination 3, and also Black Xmas. Directed by James Wong. That's what it's called.
Okay, well, jeez.
James Wong. He also did Final Destination 3 and Dragon Evolution.
Okay.
Cast: Devin Sawa, Allie Larder, Sean William Scott, Kerr Smith, Kristen Cloak, Daniel Roebuck, Roger Guinevere Smith.
Got it.
Chad Donnella, Amanda Detmer, Brandon Furr, and Tony Todd.
Cool.
Okay.
Creator Jeffrey Reddick had heard a story of a woman who received a call from her mom telling her not to get on a flight she was about to get on. The woman switched her flight, and it's a good thing she did because that original flight did indeed crash. Jeffrey Reddick had the idea that what if that woman was supposed to die on that flight? Reddick wrote the idea into a spec script for The X-Files, but his agent said he should write the feature film instead. The house that Freddie built, New Line Cinema, bought Reddick's script and hired James Wong and Glenn Morgan to rewrite and direct the film. The duo added key elements like the warning of John Denver and making the characters high school students rather than adults as they were in Reddick's original script. Devin Sawa was sent the script based on his strength as a performer in Idle Hands. Sawa said he first read the script on a plane and found himself looking out the window at the engine just to make sure that real life didn't reflect
That's
make
pretty
believe.
awesome.
I can't even imagine.
Nope.
For the plane crash scene, the filmmakers built a 45,000-pound set piece that held 89 people in it. It was like the fuselage of the plane.
Yep.
The piece was on a gimbal, so it felt like an amusement park ride where the gimbal would shift up and down and side to side. So pretty much like a rotating room, like in Nolan.
Oh, yeah,
like Inception or, whatever other movie that kind of does that. Final Destination was released on March 17th, 2000, and on a budget of $23 million, the film made $112.9 million at the box office. It garnered 6 sequels?
Well, 6 total, so 5 sequels, I
So
think.
5 sequels, and there is one in the works right now.
Wow.
Set to be released in 2025.
No, seriously, Final Destination. It's the last one.
No, it's not.
Not even kidding. It's the final one.
Well, thanks, Sean. Up next, we got to go to the AJs. He does the research for us. We get to learn about critics and fans, ratings and reviews. What do you got on this one, man?
Well, there's no shortage of red in this movie. We might as well take it on over to the Tomato Meter.
Gross.
Yeah, it kind of is. 36%
Whoa, really?
Jesus.
on the Tomato Meter.
Surprisingly enough, that falls all by itself in that spot. It's not as good as Roadhouse, but it is better than Three Ninjas, per the critics.
Well, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
68% from audiences. They appreciated this one a little bit more, and this is a 6.7 on IMDb.
6.7 is okay on IMDb. That is tied with Legend of Billie Jean, Running Man, Armageddon, Empire Records for all the movies we have done so far.
All but one of
There you
those
go.
is fantastic.
Yes.
One of them.
We'll let you decide, audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of fun little game
That's
we're
a
playing.
fun game, right?
Uh-huh.
How about it, huh? Okay.
Continue, AJ.
Oh, this is great. This is a Seattle Post intelligencer, and this guy's name is Sean Axemaker.
Whoa.
Huh? So grim and humorless that the first half almost sinks into silliness. He gave it a 58 out of 100 on there. Baltimore Sun, Chris Kaltenbach, he gave it a 50 out of 100. Fitfully thrilling. And let's see, USA Today, proudly stupid, silly, and gory. It's a 50 out of 100 as well. There was a bad one down there near the bottom, the Chicago Tribune.
Chicago hates movies.
They just aren't a big fan of movies. They're really critical.
They
You
like
almost say
Rookie
they
of the
call them
Year.
critics. So Barbara Schulgasser,
Yes.
38 out of 100, meets the low standards of a mediocre TV movie. Fine. Okay. And TNT Rough Cut, Tom Capello gave it a 0.
You can't
Whoa.
do that. You're not allowed.
0.
I thought the only reason you could give it a 1 is because you couldn't give it a 0.
You can't. I give it a 1 because you can't give it a 0. Apparently, Tom Capello over at TNT Rough Cut found the loophole, and he called it inane, irresponsible, immature, and poorly written, guys.
Why even write a review when you found no redeeming fact?
Well, because he needed every...
You got to let the people know if I can
If I
save
can
one
save you
person.
from watching this movie.
This guy gets paid to do it, though.
I know. He's like, but he gets paid to write it. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, no, there's a fruit fly.
There's a
You
bug
keep going.
here,
I'm going to
yeah.
get him.
Okay.
You keep going.
Well, speaking of breaking the rules here, this person called it dumb, cliched, and predictable, said AP47. This was in 2019. He gave it a 1 out of 10, but then he starts his rating as, my rating, 0 out of 10. I've read lots of reviews where they say, I want my money, time, whatever else back. This is one of those for me. Mike's already applauding.
Jesus, man. Of course.
Damn it.
The distractions are real.
You keep going. I'll get a towel.
All right. I'll just talk to nobody about my reviews.
I am listening.
Keep
Well,
going.
my rating, 0 out of 10. I'm just going to yuck it up. Fuck it. I've read lots of reviews where they say, I want my money, time, whatever else back. This is one of those for me. I want my 98 minutes back. Got 'em. Waste of time, not recommended. 6 out of 11 people found that review helpful, so he did in fact save some people from wasting 98 minutes of their time.
What a-
Approximately 6 of them.
What a soldier.
What a
savior. You didn't even get him, goddammit.
And all that. Look at him.
This bug was supposed to die on that last one
And
that I
I-
did, and so now life's coming after him right now.
Okay, so he cheated death,
He
and
just
so it's going to
cheated
come
death.
back around
Yep,
for it.
exactly.
Okay, that's great.
Trying to
'Cause
set it up, you know.
He seems pretty casual about just cheating death, but that's fine. This is also a 1 out of 10. This was in 2007. Wow, this was pointless and dumb.
Wow.
Said rectangular businessman.
Man,
He uses shoulder pads in his suit.
what will they think of next? You know? Just keep surprising us.
I just keep coming up with more bullshit. A group of characters die one by one. Very interesting.
I mean, it is.
Oh man, snore. Everything from this film is dumb, cliched, and predictable. From the beginning, this is in parentheses. From the beginning, you know who will die and who will survive. Like if it were an episode, episode of Happy Tree Friends. The big deal of this movie, it sees how the characters die.
Okay.
Damn it. Maybe it's just me, but I think that make all the plot around that. It's incredibly basic, unoriginal, and dumb. I'm never gonna not say dumb as dumb. The performances are bad. The script is cliched and unfunny. The ending, it's exactly as you could expect. Parentheses. With the big twist. Did you get it, Mike?
No.
All right.
It's Devin Sawa.
This-
I can't get him.
Dang
He's
it.
smart.
Keeps cheating.
Mike is death, and that gnat is Devin Sawa. Got it. The big twist at the end that is completely predictable. This movie sucks. I can't believe that it has 2 sequels. I won't see them. 8 out of 17 people found that helpful.
Nice work, man.
Nice work, AJ. Congratulations on battling the fruit fly with your words.
He left. I think you killed him.
Yeah, I think I ran him off. We got to go to the Little Bowski Urban Achievers in our exclusive Discord channel where you can jump on in, give us your take on it, and give your take on a lot of other things, guys. Doesn't have to be just these reviews. Okay, let us know. But Mike Guiliano was able to jump in. There's a reason why I drove 14 hours to see the podcast in Chicago instead of taking a 2-hour flight.
That says all you need to know. That's brilliant.
What Jaws did for the ocean, the Final Destination series managed to do for airplanes, cars, tractor trailers, trains, bridges, fences, tanning beds, car washes. The list goes on.
Anything you do as a human.
Jeff Goldblum was half right. Life finds a way, but death will find a much more circuitous, gruesome way to take it right back. As a franchise, he gives it 9 out of 10 spoopies.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
He didn't say it's a bad movie. He just said, I'm just not flying.
Exactly.
So there you go, Josh. That's what Michael Giuliano
There
thinks.
you go.
Wes Clark also jumped in, said, okay, AJ is always talking about how there were like things that he thought would be bigger problems as a kid and than they actually are as adults. This is the movie that does that.
Yes.
100%. 100%. Scared of planes, trains, bathrooms, buses. The only knock I have on the movie is the actual first death scene with the plane. At the time, yes, it was crazy, but after this movie, they started doing singular deaths in a mass event, which made it even more terrifying. I would give this movie a 7 out of 10 nostalgic and 6 out of 10 modern, or 6.2 out of 10 modern.
Okay.
Well,
Thank ya.
Well, boys, before we hit the scene-by-scene breakdown, I think we should take... You get it? Okay.
He wasn't
Man,
even
it's very distracted.
You'll say.
Bravo, man.
Well, boys, I think we should go take a shit together. Listen to me, okay? Listen. Take
I'm
some
listening.
knowledge. We're about to embark on a scene-by-scene review of Final Destination that will take us more than an hour. There are no toilets inside of our studio. Let's say halfway through the podcast, right? Your body wants that Chili's food out of you that you ate earlier. You got to go torque a wicked cable. You can't make it all the way down the hallway to our nice toilet, so you shart yourself. Then directly after that, in walks our super hot cleaning ladies, Krista and Blake. You want them to associate you with the watery sting in their eye, that reflexive gag at the back of their throat? I don't think so. So let's let the theme music play. We'll take a break. We'll go get the job done together, and then we'll come back for a scene-by-scene breakdown.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Start the theme music.
Yeah, just start it.
So scene 1, high school student Alex Browning boards a flight with his classmates for their senior trip to Paris. Before takeoff, Alex has a premonition of the plane crashing. He panics and other students try to intervene, resulting in Alex, Todd, Billy, Clear, Carter's girlfriend Terry, and teacher Miss Luton being escorted off the flight. They're not allowed back on. The flight then takes off with the rest of the class aboard and it explodes. Afterwards, the survivors are interrogated by 2 FBI agents who are suspicious of Alex.
I feel better.
Yeah.
That was a good shit
was a
we
good-
just took.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
So,
Final Destination. Man, when New Line comes up, the New Line
That's how you know.
logo, I'm just like, man, we had it fucking good.
We had it good, dude.
Like I think they're still around, but they were absolutely destroying it back in these days.
Just anything they put out.
In the 80s as well. Like Dumb and Dumber is a New
Ooh.
Line film, you know. Yeah, it's always like nostalgia overload whenever I see those.
I'll tell you what, I tell you where they did miss though. For some reason, the score in this just doesn't do it for me.
Really?
It's this weird. I know it it was like highly praised, but for some reason, it's like this early 2000s thing where it's just like pompous and it's like.
we want you to know this is gonna be a scary movie.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, normal things, trivial items around a room. Anything could be death. Okay, we get it. That's the
Do
way
you
I
feel
felt.
that way too? Like back then, I'm sure I thought it was great, but for some reason, this is really dating to me. Like it seems old.
it actually seems like more dating than like having it start out with your kind of classic like 2000s pop punk song.
Dude,
to me,
actually, okay, help me out.
It could have been like, ooh yeah, we're gonna have a good life. Oh no, we're gonna die. It's that could have happened.
I want to know if you feel this way because, okay, let's rewrite this intro to this movie. This whole way we see it now is this ominous music and oh my god and everything and oh no. Like it already sets the tone for this movie. Let's pretend it starts off with a pop punk song, Blink-182 song, and let's just say it's fun and he's actually having a good time with his buddies and he's pumped to go to Paris and his parents are like, you're gonna have the best time. He's like, I know. And they get on the plane and like outside they like smoked a little bit. They're like, oh fuck, this is gonna be awesome. And they get on the plane and like there's no premonitions whatsoever. And then they get kicked off the flight for like smoking weed. And then they're like, oh no. And then the plane blows up.
Yeah.
For some reason, I like that better. I don't like this, the whole thing's this, like already, oh, there's signs. Like, am I weird for thinking that?
The supernatural aspect essentially is what you're talking about. Like obviously the build up to it, but then the fact that it comes back that it's actually something that's more or less like a supernatural element that's playing this, that his vision and all that.
I picture Death, Death's like working at his computer and he's like, oh cool, yep, that plane's gonna go down and here's the 240 people, okay cool. And then he goes, what?
Oh!
They got off? Like, I don't want and then Death has to go to work.
I should be able to clock out here and go on vacation. No! 7 people? What a catastrophe for the death people.
Then you get crazy. Then it's like, oh no, now Death's coming for you. Am I weird for thinking that?
Sean is stewing.
No, AJ, let's keep talking about this. Hey, we're the horror guys here.
Yeah. You know, if you want my opinion.
Sean, go ahead. I just had to get that.
I love what just happened to me. You guys are like red in the face, pissed at this movie. And I'm just like, it was one of the 5 movies that I picked.
Please
I haven't said a word yet.
Please tell me that entire conversation was just Sean's face on the YouTube. That's all I fucking want. Holy shit.
So the floor is yours, man. Go ahead. Can you address all the things we just talked about, please?
Yeah.
One by one.
I like the music. I really do.
Skipped right over. We didn't even let him talk about this.
We did. We were just like, yeah, let's fucking keep going.
You introed this as the music fucking sucks. Anyway.
So sorry. Keep going. I had to take my headphones off.
I like the music. It's very like small town kind of horror-ish kind of thing to me, where it's like really settling you in and getting you into like the supernatural aspect. But like that was interesting what you just said. Like
interesting.
I promise.
Like to shock, like almost like a Psycho thing, or what we just covered in the movie, like Scream,
Cabin in the Woods. Like remember how that's kind of like
but
Cabin
like,
Fever. It's like
to like really like hammer the audience over the head is like, or just change the mood, like just like that. That would be very interesting, but you would lose all of the story of like the premonition and like the point of the movie.
Correct.
And I do like the intro because it is like those signs, like he's like the wind is like moving this, or like she says it's like on his birthday, and like statistically people die on their birthday more than any other day apparently. Yeah, that's why that detail was in there.
I see.
But I like, it's real to me because I don't know about you guys, but every time I like, you just notice those kinds of signs, and it's not because of this movie. I don't think you just like in normal day life you're just like, what was that? That was weird. Like something like a glitch, not even like a glitch in the Matrix, but like it's something that's just like not really outstanding, but just something out of place, just a little bit,
Yeah.
And the movie's making that aspect scary, and I really enjoy that.
And I agree with that. I wish here's what I wish, like, because I do like the idea of it would have been a bit of a better like culture shock, or like a shock to kind of even do maybe more of like what you were saying, Mike, but then still have it end with this like flashback thing, and he jumps back, and then he still has the the premonition thing.
Yeah, on the plane he has it.
He
falls
does have
asleep and goes, "Oh shit."
That would be great.
Is it because I'm stoned?
Right. Right. You know, but it's like that would have been more fun to me rather than like the whole beating you over the head. And then you're right though. The reason that I get kind of lost with it is because it's like, okay, there's these little things. There's like, oh, there's a wire that breaks on the sign thing on above him, and like he looks down at the jetway thing. Fell off the jetway again. Sorry, I had to. And
Had a premonition again.
You are one pathetic loser.
No offense.
No taking.
No.
But he sees the thing go by, and you're just like, well, yeah, that's kind of spooky. I wish they would have zoomed in because I eventually had to go back and, there's a 666 on the thing.
Of course.
Oh, they're talking about these like notifiers, and what you're saying is like these little things that just seem out of place. It's like, why does this feel weird? Why does this feel off to me? Her ripping the tag off when like it was his thing that he wanted to leave that on. He felt more comfortable. It's like, okay. You know, those little things.
You know that has to come off, dude.
Yeah, it's like you can't have that on
You can't leave
there.
it on there.
Yeah.
Or else your bag's going to go somewhere
Gonna
else.
get lost.
Because Gate Check's going to pull it off, too, or whoever. You know, they're going to rip it off so they can put on the new one. Like, come on, bro.
Oh, they took it off!
No! I'm not going.
Wait, you mean it's a new one every time?
Wait.
Whoa, dude.
So, but I guess and like the clock thing, right? Like he's falling asleep and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and then like it flickers to like the 180. It's like
Which is 220.
That was it's like, well, that was a useless transition to me.
Correct.
You know, like
Like,
those
what
are
is
the little
Death
things.
trying to tell him this? Does Death want this game to happen?
Yeah, because and you're right.
Like, why tell someone they're gonna die? Let them fucking die.
Why not?
Death?
Yeah. Why are you like giving?
Right.
And by the way, you're really bad at giving signals because he's like falling asleep. He's like, no, 180. God damn it.
Hey. Jeez, man. I'm
Well,
trying to do something.
I thought he would know for sure that he's going to be on. Like, when do you ever know the fucking flight number you're on?
Yeah.
You never
Yeah,
know
I
that.
mean-
Well,
Maybe back then.
We'll get to how he knew where everyone was sitting. We'll get there. But
Let's not.
okay.
Well,
This is the premonition stuff. Sorry, I know I'm like but it's like this is the stuff that okay, yes, you feel it, but you could have made it a little bit more obvious to us that some of these little things were in front of us like that.
Can we get into that, or do we want to get into it a little bit later? Where like, is this Death giving the signs, or is it just these certain people are more sensitive to this kind of thing?
What is it supposed to be?
I think that it's more that. I think Death isn't a factor until it's been cheated. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I think that like these premonitions and these signs that they're all get, or like, you know, throughout the sequels, I guess, that these people get is just like that they're
It's like a
sensitive
glitch.
to it.
Yeah, right.
You know, that they're just like more in tune with it, because we get the detail that Clear is like kind of, you know, feeling what he's feeling. Like
She's kind of clairvoyant,
clear,
if you will.
Voyant. Like I'm like,
Why wouldn't her name just be Claire then?
You're-
You know?
you're meant to be saying Claire, right? I thought that through the
Dude,
entire movie. I'm
I
like,
hate
your
it.
name is
Dude.
Clear,
And your last name is Rivers? What the?
Clear Rivers.
It's. I'm gonna go ahead and give
My
it.
parents
hey,
were
whoa, whoa.
hippies.
I'm gonna give it a Confusey Award for worst character name in history. Clear Rivers.
Okay.
Confusey Award.
Okay.
Okay. It's my right to give that award
Well,
out.
since we're on names, I have to say that I
about
do
right.
I do like the aspect that Alex Browning is Devon Sawa. Todd Browning is a horror director, like a famous horror director back in the day, made the movie Freaks. Valerie Luton, there is a producer, Val Luton, who did a lot of horror movies back in the day, like kind of silent ones and more of like the black and white. Like it seems like these movies are like painted in water. I don't know. That's the only way I can describe it. But then one of the agents is Shrek. Max Shrek is who played Nosferatu in the original Nosferatu. His name was Max Shrek.
There's also a big
Just
green
a bunch
ogre.
of nods. Yeah.
No, it's not that.
Okay.
Just a
Let
bunch
me
of
have
nods
this
or
one.
whatever.
Will you please shut up?
No, I like that detail. I didn't notice it until this time, so I was like, oh, cool.
Hitchcock.
Yeah.
That was the one that
10-inch cock.
yes. That was the one that gave it away, like to me, of like Hitchcock. come on, like that one was like obvious.
Yeah.
So then it
I was
makes you
trying
think.
to find out what Ranger player was called Hitchcock, and I was like, oh, that's his name.
Oh, okay.
Oh, weird. You're the guy that gets his own name on the back of a jersey of an adult person that you're idolizing. Gotcha.
Great,
Okay,
great,
cool.
great. Okay.
But can we talk? What's his name? His friend's name?
I don't know. The one that
Todd?
died, Todd with
Yeah,
one D.
Todd.
Todd with a D.
shit.
Is he the weirdest guy?
I don't know. It was just like, I gotta go take a shit.
Look, if he
Come take a
didn't,
shit with me.
if he didn't die, he was the killer. like that's it. He is death. And this, like, that's it.
Were they? He looks like the he's supposed to be the prototypical stoner friend. Like that's how I feel like they wanted to portray him, but they never actually did. He's just like the weird stoner guy.
They all just felt very 90s.
Yes, they did.
You know,
Yeah.
very late 90s. And like not even like they were sectioning them off, except for maybe what's his name, Clint or what?
It's Carter or not Carter.
Grant or
It's,
Carter. Carter.
Carter. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the only one who looks like maybe like, oh, he kind of looks like a bully. But everybody else just looks really like very much
Baggy
typical
clothes.
late 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Not really special or clicky. That's it. You know?
Even when he's like typical, bro. Carter is like typical, like, yeah, he's just hot-headed about everything.
It
you
doesn't
know?
matter.
And like even when they take off, everyone claps or whatever. Like, yeah. And he's like, whatever.
He's like,
No, hey, humanize the goon. Humanize the goons here. If you fucking clap when an airplane lands, you can go to fucking hell. Like I'm with Carter here, man. Do not clap when a plane takes off.
But like, yes, I agree with you saying whatever in my head, but he says it. Whatever.
No, you've done that. I would literally mouth that out loud if somebody fucking clapped on a plane.
I don't even care that we're on our way.
like,
Fuck this.
God, I just want to make out. My girlfriend.
She's hot.
Yeah, have you seen her?
Dude, I'm so lucky that I did not see this movie prior to me going to Australia on a class trip.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because like I don't think I would have got on. Like we've all been there. This movie creates those like what if moments. I've had the thing where like my flights, I've gotten to put on a different flight for some reason. You're like, but what if this one crashes? What if
Yeah.
the other one crashes? Put yourself in this position. This is real life. You're on a plane with a bunch of classmates and this happens and some dude freaks out that hard. Are you getting off the plane?
I don't know, man. Like, I want to get back to that, but like before this, like even they're making everything terrifying about flying.
Correct.
And everything kind of is. Like even just like them taking the ticket, like you're going onto the plane, like
can't get back
whatever
off.
chute that is, like the jetway.
jetway.
Yeah. Like that's kind of terrifying. Like this is it. Like you're not getting off. Like really, it's hard to get off planes once you're seated. You know?
Well, it is. It's like a massive fine if you get off for anything that is other than like a medical emergency sort of thing. Like you're basically like blacklisted. It's not if that door opens back up, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like it has to be a bad thing for it to open back
I
up.
almost wish they would have done some of this like setup in like the security because that's where I get the most anxiety.
Yeah.
Is the security just because dealing with fucking
Well,
assholes.
this is
all the time.
2000, not 2001
That's true.
or
That's-
2.
Oh,
Wow,
dude, the
that's very
parents
true.
could walk them to
Yeah.
the fucking
That's
gate
very true. I
if
did
they
not
wanted
think
to.
about that.
Dude.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
but put it in. This is where movies are interesting because, like, us watching this right now, we're like, "Fuck! If I was on that plane, I'd fucking get off."
I'd get off.
But like, let's put it into modern day times. Just within the last year, that psycho kind of hot chick that
Right.
was like, "Just shape shifted right next to me. That's
not his face.
Yeah, that's not his face." Like, you know, people on that plane were kind of like,
What is this?
should I get off? But then they're also like, fuck that bitch. Get off the fucking plane. We're trying to get to Orlando.
I am trying to get to France so I can drink underage and hopefully make
Heavy
out,
pet my girlfriend.
and yeah, and do under the pants stuff finally.
Skin to skin.
You know, like
She
What do you-
promised me an under the pants high and
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? Sex.
sex.
dickhead.
No, you dickhead. Sex. But like, I don't know. It is the big question, and that's what Clear does. She just. I'm not going to keep saying it like that.
No, just say Ellie
That's what
Larder.
Claire does.
Don't say Claire. Actually, yeah, let's switch it to Claire.
I'm just going to say Claire because it sounds like Claire when every time somebody else says it. No, I just think she gets off, and I think it kind of comes back around that she kind of has a similar thing as Alex, like this same kind of a premonition thing. By the end of it, we kind of realize. But in the end, I don't know. I want to say I'd get off, but I don't think
You're not going.
I'm not going to.
No,
I'm just gonna get hammered.
The older
Even
I get,
more.
the more I'm like, I fucking hope this plane crashes.
Honestly,
I'm just like, we had a good
if
run.
this is it, this is it. What the fuck am I gonna do?
We've talked
18,
about,
I would have got off that plane.
yeah.
We talked about this before. We've talked about, it's like every time I get onto a plane, I listen to like certain music and
Same.
stuff, and
Yep.
like it's like I make my peace
Yep.
because
If
it's
this is
like
the last song we ever listen to, I'm cool with it.
it's always, they say statistically that it is, if something is going to go wrong on a plane, it's going to happen at
Takeoffs and
takeoff
landings.
or at landing. And that's it. Once you're in the air, you're probably like, you're 99.9
Except
whatever.
for that video we just saw that
Except
came
for
out
the
the other
one,
day
man,
where the
the
plane was
thing.
flat
All
spinning
of the
down.
Boeing
Yeah.
videos that we see. On
Yeah,
the thing.
somebody's got it out for Boeing at this
Yeah.
point.
This plane crash scene is awesome.
Okay.
It's good. It's really good. But yeah,
I still think it really holds up.
The CGI is a little rough at times, but it's done so well that I don't care.
There's like no music to it. It doesn't. I don't think there is anyway. It's all just like sound effects, and
Ooh.
it's very
It's
terrifying.
frightening, dude.
Like when the hole blows out and that girl is like just hanging on, and Val is trying to get her. That's extremely terrifying, and even just
His
like
face melting in the
that
fireball.
was the image that is burnt into my
Yep.
head when I first saw this movie, and like then it ends, and I'm like, oh, okay, so the movie's over. That's fucked up. That's what I thought the movie.
I'm gonna go outside and play guns.
Yeah,
it's just-
exactly.
yeah, exactly, dude. I tried to like take off the orange end cap of it so it looked more real.
Yeah.
So I want to go play guns now. The only part of it that was like I was kind of like taken out of it was something happens and then there's just like this huge like blood spray or something at the front of it. I'm like,
Oh yeah, it was an
well,
explosion. And
yeah,
blood
and so
sprays.
I was like, all right, well, but it was good. And then, but the zoom out, this is where I give it a little bit of praise, I guess, at the beginning, because the fact that it just kind of comes back out of it, and it's just him, and he's like in a cold sweat, pretty much. I thought that was the abruptness that I was looking for,
Right.
You know, and we finally did get it, I guess. So everything I said before is irrelevant.
The plane blowing out the windows, though, I'm not a fan of that because that would not happen. Like, oh no, you know, like I didn't like that. But
I know that it wouldn't happen, but I still like it just because they are arguing.
It's a cool effect.
and it's just no one's paying attention except for Sean William
Yeah.
Scott at this point. And then they're just like, the realization that goes around is they're like very good shots of just like they all look at
Alex.
How
about the foreshadowing here? Like, I can't decide if I like it or not. I love movies like that have all these hidden details in it, but this one I'm just like on the fence of. It is kind of cool that they foreshadow the deaths here, like Sean William Scott, the plane. The reflection of the mirror, the plane goes across his face right where he gets decapitated at later.
Spoilers. Oh.
Terry, there's a bus behind Terry. Like,
Yeah.
I like it, but I'm also just like,
Well, it's because it's not foreshadowing can be done well, and like this is almost there's like obvious, then there's not obvious, and then the happy medium is what we always want. And this stuff is not obvious at all.
yeah.
To
So
even
you're
reference
never
later
ever
on.
gonna notice it the first time you watch it.
Correct.
And then when you watch it the second time, you'll be like, oh, he
And
was really trying to speak to me there.
And it's not like it's like
Tyler
oh,
Durden, like that kind of
Oh.
shit, you know, like
Okay.
okay.
That's it. Oh, there was a bus behind her for like a split second.
I should have
Oh.
saw that. I should have seen it coming. Then I would have known how she died.
Yeah.
Damn it.
there was one like brutal detail that I do appreciate about it, and it makes it even more like impactful. Is that there's a baby on board, and he's like, "Well, this plane's not coming down because that baby's." And then even the mentally handicapped guy,
yeah.
Who, by the way, is a real human being that had to play that part. I'd find that kind of
oh really?
yeah. That's just a guy that has a lot of acting credits. That was his role. Kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
To make somebody play that part.
Yeah.
Well, then it would be.
It's Lou Gehrig's disease guy in the credits. Yeah, that's literally what it says.
But in this
It was his first role.
Imagine if they just call him Lou Gehrig.
Hey,
Sorry.
they call
No,
him LG for short. They like. Are you saying that he is a man? He's a man who has Lou Gehrig's
Yeah,
disease.
he
and
wanted
then
to be an actor, and they're like, "Well, we got a role for you. You got to act like you're
No, you're saying
You know-
that he's a normal, like
He does not have any
Right.
disease. Yes.
Oh, he does not have any.
No, they wanted him to act like that
Oh, see, I thought
because
you were
it's
saying,
very important to the plot.
I thought you were saying the opposite, and it's like, well, everyone would be coming out of the woodwork if this guy didn't. It's like, oh, he doesn't have it.
No.
Where are these social like warriors?
This is
here?
2000, bro.
Oof. All right.
But no, it did add to it for me. That's
Agreed.
like I'm saying, it just
You
makes
like
it
to think that. You
makes it
like
even
to
more
think that,
tragic for
Sean,
me.
to be like, dude, totally. There's like good people on this plane.
Dead
Like,
Yeah.
no
giveaway.
way.
Dead giveaway, though. No pun intended. There wasn't a dog on board.
Oh, cool.
So,
Okay, gotcha.
Wasn't a dog on board though, man.
Well, that's the thing. You
Even
gotta,
that baby's probably got skeletons in the closet, you know.
honestly.
So
You gotta come
Scratching
to
faces and shit.
Neil deGrasse Tyson said it best. Speaking of him, he said that he
Sinbad.
thinks that if there is a God, he's either not all powerful or not all good, because he's either not powerful enough to stop this plane from crashing with children on it, or he doesn't give a fuck. Just throwing it out there.
yeah,
Hey man,
Throwing
I'm
it out
with
there.
you. I'm fucking
Yeah!
rock and roll,
Got
dude.
it.
That's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Anyway, Jarrett Layoff Confused Breakfast Actor Database.
Perfect.
Who's our number one? Anybody know?
Ooh, is it Sean William Scott?
Sean William Scott. This is his fourth role. He's been in, fellas, Road Trip, Role Models, American Pie. Think about the interesting part of this. So in 1999, he's in American Pie as
Yeah.
Stifler. And we fall in love with Stifler, and he goes on to be Stifler for almost the rest of his life. Then in 2000, he's like the worst character in this movie. And I think maybe this was filmed before that, do you think? Like, or
No, it was based off his performance in American Pie, where they wanted to cast him.
well, because they said Billy obviously was supposed to be an overweight kid that
That's
no
right.
one
Yeah,
liked.
yeah.
And
Oh,
then they're like,
yeah.
no, let's make it Sean William Scott. It's like, it feels really weird because then immediately after this, he's Road Trip, American Pie 2, Dude, Where's My Car? Like, within the next year. So it just feels like such a weird.
He's basically it feels like Kyle from Road Trip.
Yeah.
It's like that's what he was. They could have easily cast the guy who was Kyle.
That would've
like,
been awesome.
And then he would have been a better fit for this. Like, in my opinion, I love Sean William Scott,
Duh.
but this is a clunky role
It's
for like
just
what he kind
weird.
of plays normally.
I think
you
it's
know?
like kind of a thing where he did play like the over eccentric character in American Pie, and then he wanted to try and maybe do something a little bit more subdued in this. He's kind of just a more laid back Stifler.
Yeah.
in this, he's like less screen time Stifler, I want to say.
And he doesn't seem like a nerd in this movie
Yeah.
necessarily. He
And
just
he-
seems like a guy.
It was
just a
like he
guy.
wanted to do something else. Like he wanted to like show maybe some more dramatic.
And then people
kind of
were like,
thing. "No, you're very good at being."
Hey, we got this movie called Road Trip.
Being a
and
drunk
we want
asshole.
you to be fucking awesome.
We want you to auction women in that one. Okay? It's like, all
All
right.
right, whatever.
Jesus.
All right, so scene 2, 39 days later, after attending a memorial service for the victims, an unusual chain reaction causes Todd to be accidentally hanged in his shower that night. Alex had received hints about Todd's death that night and rushed to his home to find that Todd already died. Claire takes Alice away from the house and explains her strange connection to him. They go to the funeral home, meet the mortician, and learn that his death was not a suicide and that death is targeting them.
I want to talk about the interrogations a little bit
Okay.
first. Agent Shrek is just. I don't think he ever blinks in this movie.
No.
He's. I think you're the serial killer that we've been looking for.
Yeah. That's it.
Sean, do you think it would be cool?
I want him to do like.
And then his partner is just like, would you stop it? God.
He's just like, confess, you little piece of shit.
yeah.
You fucking Mr. Rubber Burner.
Rubber
Mr. Kick-Ass.
Mr. Kick-Ass. Huh?
Rubber burner.
How'd you do
He's
it?
a bit
huh?
over the top
Do you
for me.
think? Do you know what I would have liked, Sean? Because you said this was like originally like an X-Files like kind of sketch.
Yeah, he wrote it intending for it to be an X-Files episode.
You know what I would have really loved is if it turned out that these two guys were not. They were like special division FBI, like more for supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
Because the fact that they're even still there 39 days later makes no fucking sense. They clearly did not have anything to do with the plane blowing up.
Yeah.
They figured out, they're like, yeah, we know you didn't blow up the plane. That's impossible. But they're still there 39 days later when Todd's about ready to die. that it'd be cool that they were basically monitoring the situation and be like, we've seen this happen before. We know that death, because it is a thing, because we're the supernatural division, that he's going to be coming back around. We need to stick around and see what happens. Like, that kind of would have been a cool twist on the movie.
That would have been, yeah, because the reason I get out of these, or like sometimes I don't like these so much, is that this is in this world of the Final Destination takes place in, right? That means that this is, according to them and everyone else, this is the first supernatural happening that has ever happened in existence ever, for the sake of whatever.
Yes.
First time it's ever happened, and it's happening to them, and that would mean that, well, this is unprecedented. We have no idea, and this water slurping back up into the toilet, that's the kind of shit that we're talking about here. This is a supernatural element to it, and we're just and that's the problem. We're just kind of going along with it.
So you guys wanted them to kind of go all in on it.
Well, kind of, right?
I wanted them to pick a lane.
Well, and even the fact that Death is like, cool, I killed Todd. Better clean up, make sure they don't know it's me.
Yep.
It's like no one's ever going to think that Death came to kill Todd by making a water line like happen.
Yeah.
So like it is weird that Death's like, oh,
yeah,
got to do it in secrecy. It's like, you're Death. Just give him a fucking heart attack and move on.
Right.
Like,
and yeah, like this kind of a thing, it's like we have to think that Death has a personality of some kind, or like as a thought process of this.
Right.
And he's just some ominous thing, like ever present, that Death is. And it's like, oh, what could I do? Ooh, I could electrocute him. Yeah, plug that thing in and it'll be kind of wet. And he's like,
fuck.
he didn't quite. All right.
John Denver, damn it.
He's like, maybe I just need some John Denver to get the juices flowing. And it's just like
Nothing like a
wrong
little
song.
John Denver just to get me going,
Ooh. And then it's like, oh, this will be fun. And he just like whips that thing around his neck. And
oh yeah,
it's like, what are we in, like a hotel all of a sudden? Like,
he's
this
got
is a
an
normal
apprentice.
thing?
He's got an apprentice with him. He's like, okay, normally we would just kind of give him a heart attack, but we're gonna have a little fun here. I want to show you what the powers we can do here.
Right.
We can make it look like it's a hanging. It'll be great.
Okay, yeah, that seems.
So do we
kinda neat.
have to make it look like a suicide? No, we could literally just like fucking kill him dead, and just like it doesn't matter. They don't know we exist.
I have the touch of death,
Yeah, whatever.
and I could just do it, but I'm gonna make this one interesting.
This is gonna be fun. We don't like Todd. His parents only gave him one D in his name. Like fucking, we're gonna kill these people.
Yeah. And I like to think that when Todd's dying, he gets that like magazine. It gets shredded up at Penthouse, and then it drops on him, and it just says Todd right there, right? But then I read that Todd with one D in some language actually is like that means death. And I like to think that Alex just thought, like, instead he's like Todd, he's like death in Latin. Ah! It's there in French or some dead or a dead language or
Whatever.
something. And that's why he ran. But it's just a lot of work. Death is just getting real creative for these deaths at this point, and it starts with Todd.
I do think it's really funny how they show Alex like going through like flight plans and fuselages all day, just cramming all this in, and he's like, I'm gonna crank one out. Just gets
They
out his
did not
penthouse.
I need to get
goes,
some stress out.
No, I'm still
I'm
mourning.
gonna turn to my favorite page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sticking. Damn it.
Oh, wait, I
They
need to
didn't
clean
need
this.
to do that, man. But also, it is funny that nobody like is grateful to Alex. Like if I were in high school going to Australia and some kid freaked out and got me kicked off of a plane that exploded,
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude, I love you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for ever doing anything to you. I love and Claire is the only one that apparently seems kind of grateful for
Like
this.
even Val is just like, you scared the hell out of me. Stay away from me. He's like,
Yeah.
you weirdly saved my life in some impossible way, but I'm scared of you and mad at you.
I am scared of you, but I'm also like, I will follow you
Yeah,
as a
I might-
disciple for the rest of
I
my
might
life.
not even like go up
basically.
and talk to them at all. I'd just be like very grateful. I'm like, wow, that was fucked up.
Yeah. It's basically.
I'm glad he freaked out and we all got off.
This
That's
is
it.
Alex and his 6 disciples at this point. That's what the end should have been. But then it's. The only reason that like Miss Luton or whatever her name is.
That was my Carter impression.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
give a fuck about anything, dude.
I only love kick-ass cars, 9 Inch Nails, and heavy petting.
Yeah. I listen to shitty music all the time.
Hey, there's no way, guys.
No.
There is no way that he listens to 9 Inch
No.
Nails. He at this point in time, he's listening to like Vertical Horizon or something.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He's everything you want.
Yeah, this is like-
he's everything you need. That's
Goo Goo
exactly what
Dolls,
he's
like
listening
they're
to.
not shitty, but Goo Goo Dolls.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Like-
Tonic.
Yeah.
Tonic.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
could only see. Like, that's what he's
Him
listening
just brooding like, the way you love me. Some.
to. They're trying to tell us he listens to 9 Inch Nails. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, which song was 9 Inch Nails? The one they
When he
pulls
was
out
in
of
the car,
Yeah.
yeah. And they do it. I wish we properly knew how to describe this diegetically, where he
yes.
like turns it down.
Yes.
Right.
He they could just be part of the soundtrack. Like, give us a cool sound. No,
Yeah.
he's listening to it.
But
Get
but
outta
the
here.
problem is, first of all, when he pulls up and he's blaring that, I had another thing I was going to talk about, but now I just might as well talk about this. He pulls up and he's going to be blaring that, and I like when I first heard it, I was just like, I didn't know it was like 9 Inch Nails, so I'm not going to like double back on this by any means. I was like, God, this is not good.
Whoa.
I was like, oh, let's put it in because it says Final Destination.
Ooh, stabbing westward.
Yeah, ooh, I don't know what you're talking about, Mike.
Okay, well.
And that's
I know what you're talking about.
thanks, man.
I'm with
you
you.
guys are so cool.
I'm on John's team
He's
now.
got a Deftones shirt on.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the the idea that like that's what it was Miss Luton. The only reason she has like one of the only valid reasons to be upset, but it's still not at Alex. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
It's like she's upset because she said, no, you go, you know all the French stuff. It'll be better off if you go with those kids, you know, and ingratiate them into the French like culture, as opposed to her, who seems like she's just like the additional chaperone that got like won the lottery to go to France, you know? So like sure she's upset, but you're still going to be pissed at Alex? Doesn't make any sense, bro.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Backtracking a little bit, when Todd does get killed by death, one, he's always shitting.
Like a
Two.
teenage boy.
Yeah.
I mean, they eat a lot.
Just
Hey, when
healthy
you gotta go,
passages.
you gotta go.
I guess so, but his dad too is just like, you did this. If you hadn't made him feel guilty about getting off that plane, and not his brother, if he hadn't, when you, his brother, he wished,
Yep.
he wished it was him instead of his. It's your fault.
Yeah.
It's your fault. You did that.
Remember at the beginning when I said, Alex, you take care of them now. Keep
Remember
an
when
eye
I
on
said
them.
that?
Remember when I said that in a playful way? That because you're not my son, and you know they're kind of fighting and being catty with each other.
Listen, this whole movie is aware of the parents.
Brothers, okay.
I was just
bottom
gonna
line,
say.
brothers who shit together die together.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I'm saying. man.
Yeah, man, fucking pilot and co-pilot over
Yeah,
here.
man.
Listen, I mean, like his parents fucking suck.
After that-
Alex's parents are weird as fuck. They just let him brood in his room looking at plane diagrams
And
and
porn.
shit, and porn. Fucking Alex's parents don't even pull in the driveway to drop Claire off while it's raining. They just like pull out in the street and be like, here, walk
Yeah.
in there. You walk down your driveway. Claire's parents in general, for naming her Clear,
Yep.
is the biggest thing that I have a problem with.
After that moment of Todd's death and seeing Mr. Waggerton or whatever his name is, but after seeing him, that's the last we see of like
We
the
don't see
parents.
any parents.
After that, it is where the fuck are the parents at? Where are the parents?
Yep.
That's it.
It's it follows. It kind of go like any slasher movie. I know they tried not to be like a slasher movie with making this, but it's that kind of formula where it's just like these teens are figuring it out.
Yeah. Parents
That's
will never understand.
I get that it's not realistic and the parents would probably be a little bit more involved, but it's these types of movies, and I give it a pass because I'm a fan of it.
Listen, this is the 2000s. This is pre a time when parents could give two shits about their kid because they got a phone with Facebook on it. This is where
Right.
parents are like, we're bored. We don't really have anything to do. We should go talk to our kids.
Right.
Just throwing it out there.
True.
Yeah.
Also, big mistake here. This is where you need to hire me to be a part of your movie. On the plane, there were 40 students and 4 teachers. There were 7 total survivors. The memorial should have been for 37 people, not 39 people. What the fuck are we doing here, guys?
Wow.
which makes me wonder if Alex actually died and that this is purgatory, and like sometimes the details aren't great. He actually did die in the plane, and now he has to figure it out before he goes to heaven or hell. Okay.
Scene 3.
Scene 3. The survivors all meet outside a cafe to discuss what they've learned. While they argue, Terry's run over and killed by a speeding bus. Alex concludes that death is reclaiming the survivors according to the sequence of their intended demise on the plane. Nonetheless, he's too late to save Miss Luton, whose house explodes after she's impaled by a falling kitchen knife.
We didn't talk about Tony Todd. Tony Todd as the mortician.
Yeah.
Do we like him?
I fucking love Tony Todd. I think it's a great...
Do we like him?
Yes, we do.
This is fun.
We're having a good time.
It's like never mind. Go ahead, Sean.
I feel like I'm on The View and I'm like, set you up.
Yeah. Thanks, Whoopi.
You get a new car.
That's all.
It's open.
Okay.
Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Tony Todd.
With one D.
Obviously, nope.
Three Ds actually.
Candyman. I just think that his presence in this, as like pretty much the exposition guy who was like, yes, I know all about this death shit that you guys are talking about. Here's some suggestions subtly to maybe try and beat it. You know, he is this kind of anchor throughout the entire series. And it being Tony Todd with just that deep voice and that menacing. Yeah, it's so good. I love that line.
He's
you don't
scary.
even want to fuck with that Mac. Like,
No, I
feel
don't.
like it's a Samuel Jackson move where he's like, I'm saying this in this movie.
Does this? I haven't seen any of the other movies other than 2. Like, I think I started to watch 2, and it was the scene with the semi carrying the logs. I was like,
Right.
I'm not gonna. This is gonna ruin my life for the rest of time. But I'd like to maybe think that he is death, and that he's here playing the game, personifying himself to be like, I'm coming for you. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that ever comes to fruition later on.
I
But
feel like they discredited the idea of that. Like I think that's what I had heard is like, oh, we want it. It's like, but it would make so much more sense if he had a hand like this idea or the inside read on like death and stuff.
it'd be cool.
I think it'd be fun, but it does. This whole part just seems very heavy-handed because they kind of walk in. They're like, "There's our friend, dead, and he's my best friend. Like literally, I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to move on with life because my best friend just died."
Remember, I talked to him just a couple days later. I made sure that he knew I wasn't gay, but I still missed him. Remember?
You know,
I had to make sure he knew that.
And we had all these plans, I guess, and he's like, "Hey, shut up in there! Don't talk too loud. You'll wake the dead." And it's like, we broke in here, and you're not concerned about that. You're not concerned we broke in. You're just going on. It's like, oh yeah, he's like, and by the way, and he just like pulls out this like spike out of his shoulder,
Wall hydrant.
Yeah, and just it's like, what is going on? Like it just seems like such a strange thing. I don't know. It's like, yeah, and your friend, he died. You know all about these things, don't you? Anyways, I got to get this body out of here, and it's like, what is going on? What are you doing here,
Dude? Is Claire like your dream woman at this point in time? Because she says things like, if you focus even now, just 1 week into summer, you can almost feel autumn coming.
Yeah.
It's like she's basically talking about Halloween Express showing up August 1st in our town.
I'm a bit of an avant-garde artist.
Yeah,
So-
sneaking into a funeral home because she just.
I wear leather hats while I weld.
Yeah.
She's your perfect woman.
I like her a lot.
It's like,
She's very nice.
Oh, I don't.
Looks good in whipped cream, I can tell you that.
Whoa.
Beer.
Yes thing. Yes.
Yeah. Sure. No, I do like to think that. Oh, sorry. That one was for Mike. So no, the like the idea when he walks up is like, what do you think of this sculpture? And it's just like this,
I made it.
this
I made it for
spring thing.
you.
It's like- I made it for you. It's like I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's fucking cool, I guess.
Man, she's hot, but she's not a great artist. Somebody's got to tell her.
It's like it looks like something like a wacky caricature on like a Nickelodeon,
inflatable tube man,
like a Nickelodeon commercial or something. It just seems, again, it's like, what do you think of this? And it's like, I don't know what to think of it. I'm in high school.
Yeah.
To get to, I guess,
Terry's death.
Yep. I just think it's funny how, again, Carter is just such like a fucking bitch, and just the ultimate bro where he is driving, listening to
Nine Inch Nails.
And he's just like, he looks over and he sees Alex and Claire having coffee, and he's like, I can't fucking stand him having coffee right now. Who does he think he is having coffee right now?
That should be my coffee.
That should be mine. So he almost kills Sean William Scott in the process of getting over there.
And by the way, Death in the moment is like, God damn it, Carter, stop! Billy's not next.
He's not next.
Trying to fuck up my whole design here. God,
these meddling kids.
Yeah, it's like Scooby-Doo in reverse.
I'll tell you what, though, of all the deaths, though, like Terry's got me. It's gotten me every time I've watched this movie.
You can all drop fucking dead.
Bah! That bus just comes out of nowhere.
Just
the blood splattered everywhere. The fucking 7 on his cheek. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He turns.
No,
Alex turns, and there's blood. Like there's a 7 of blood on his face.
Really?
Because there's 7 survivors.
That was a nice little subtle nod.
It is, but it's also just like I talked about. Like it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make us go. Death's like, did anybody see that? Fuck! I'm trying to tell you. God damn it.
He's like, I have been trying my damnedest to give you all hints, and no, nothing. I give you gold, you turn it to shit.
This is my job. I don't want to do it. I don't want to hurt people doing my job, but this is my job. I get paid to kill you fuckers.
But
I give you every warning not to, okay?
Yeah. I'm 4 years away from getting my pension, getting retirement, and this is the shit I got to deal with. I don't like doing it. Okay,
it's a family business. Okay?
My replacement's job. Okay, that's all I'm worried about is going to Cancun, fucking chilled on the beach and roasting my bones.
Which,
okay.
By the way, I think that's what happened at the end of it. I think that's why like 3 or 4 months passed. Is like Death had to go on vacation.
Yeah,
he's like I'll come back and get those fuckers. I just need a break.
I'm taking a break from this shit. It turns out it's Tim Allen who just got it the same way he got the Santa Claus suit. He's just like
killed Death.
He's just like,
That's the sequel I want. Is Tim Allen accidentally killing Death and having to be and fucking he has to start with Charlie. He's like, well, here's my first orders. My son Charlie.
No, he made the list. No.
Did you read about that Alka-Seltzer sequence? Apparently, they had to extend that. It felt obnoxiously long. She dies. It goes right to the Alka-Seltzer. It like focuses on it for a while. Then it goes to Alex getting ready to drink it, and then it goes to Claire, and she's got Alka-Seltzer. They said that they had to extend that scene that long because audiences were still recovering from the shock of Terry getting hit from that bus.
That's
and
cool.
It makes sense because it's boom.
I do think
Phone
about
rings.
I do think about a lot pretty often while watching this. The reactions and the way things would be in a theater.
Yeah, dude.
You think
First
about
time you saw this?
That moment in a theater, there's going to be like there's going to be a bit of a jump for people. People are going to have to be like settling down to get out of it. And that's what it made a lot of sense to me when I saw that. So it makes a ton of sense because even watching it this time, it shocked me again. I forgot.
Yeah.
I just forgot.
And you get to Miss Luton's death next, and I'm sure you guys will have some stuff to say about this. But my opinion on this is that there's a lot of hard to believe things that happen in this Miss Luton death.
Yeah.
But the hardest thing for me to believe is that Miss Luton is single because she's super hot, and they're trying to make her as like the single cat lady. No, she's gonna have a husband for sure.
Dude,
yeah,
get into it.
Just want to throw that out
You
there.
want to be her husband?
No, not really.
In this movie?
Yeah,
if you were in the universe.
Yeah, man.
Just wanted to let her know everything's gonna be okay.
I just wanted to let her know that she's just a really nice lady.
If you were her husband, perhaps, and you were there with her, you wouldn't let her put on John Denver.
No,
you're not putting
Who
on.
listens to John Denver?
You're not putting on Mom's favorite.
John Denver's full of shit, man.
Yeah. Rocky Mountains aren't that rocky.
No,
at all. What are you putting? You're putting on some
Rockier.
Deftones, of course. And she's like, "Oh, this is like sexy," and you're like, "Yeah, this is kind of sexy. I should go penetrate you."
This is kind of
right?
I just
Right,
wanted
Logan?
to say she was hot, and then I wanted Sean to continue on and be like, "Well,
I
it's a
was
really cool
continuing
death.
on. Yeah,
it's a
man.
really cool death because it's like,
Penetrating it.
whoa."
Fucking missionary, dude.
The whole
Wait, stop. We got to go porn names. We're in it.
We're there.
Okay, this is the only two I got. Final masturbation or vaginal destination. That's the only two I could come up with.
vagina destination.
It's not vaginal.
I know, it's not.
It's a vagina.
And
Vagina.
That's why it's great. Vagina.
Vagina.
The emphasis on the I there, yeah.
Vaginal destination. Okay, cool.
Vaginal destination
Go
is
ahead,
the
Sean.
winner.
Oh man.
Or sorry, AJ was going.
Oh, go ahead.
Was I going?
Yeah, you were. I don't know. I think you were just feeling awkward and ready to move on.
Well, a little bit, but that's fine. No, the whole idea of like John Denver coming up, like being a reoccurring thing, it started to like kind of infuriate me.
Yes!
You know, because I'm just like, I don't know why. I'm just like, really, we're not doing, like, guys, this is literally the calling card. Like, everyone's putting on John Denver, and then she goes and puts it on herself. It's like you just wrote your own death. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
But why is death putting signs out to warn people?
Again, is death doing that?
I don't know.
Death is showing. Death is like it doesn't show like the shadow as we see in the movie.
Every once in a while you see it, and you're
that
kind of like,
we suppose that's a death. We don't see them giving them the signs though. You know, she just picked up John Denver because it's mom's favorite.
yeah.
So I don't think it's death giving the signs.
Okay.
it's just honestly, it's way more funny to me thinking that death is just kind of losing his edge. And
Well,
he's just
yeah.
kind of getting bad at it.
too.
And
I
he's
like
just like,
thinking about
he's just like, God damn it. Like, she's even picking up bad signals like the mug.
Yeah.
She's like, ah!
It's like, fuck.
It's like, oh, the high school mug. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, you mean the one you use every morning?
What?
It's
Whatever.
fine. And by the way, you went and filled up the same mug with vodka.
Yeah.
You just didn't want tea and you're an alcoholic. Just say
it's
it.
better that I can take it now because it's alcohol in there.
Yeah.
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 And not tea.
Take the edge off, if you will. And-
Well, her death, like I remember it being pretty clever and like the Rube Goldberg kind of thing kind of going on. But this does seem like a Neuberg.
thank you.
And Naked Gun.
Thank
You know, like haphazardly getting shot and getting wet paint on him and like stepping into a bucket and like falling
into a cave.
Yeah.
It's true. And that's where it's just like death is like, all right, I've been losing my edge here. It's like I'm not fucking around anymore. We're going scorched earth like against the rest of these idiots. He's like, I am getting mine. I'm making sure I get my full bonus this quarter. He's just like, whatever.
It's like
gonna
Cabin in
take.
the Woods. Like
Yeah.
the more gruesome and weird
Right.
and extended death it is, the more it better off it
Thank
works.
God we get some brownie points in there, and that's what I think though. And just watching her go through this, what turns into like her own fun house of horror, is
It's Coop in Wet Hot American Summer when he
Yes.
just keeps slipping
Yeah.
and falling.
the
whoa!
bucket, the banana peel. Oh my God!
Well, did you hear the thought that like they think death is more of a slasher? Like Death, the character, is a slasher instead of just death, where he's purposely allowing
Or she.
correct.
Thank you.
He or she is purposely allowing these characters to feel like they cheated death, but you can't cheat it. Like he's doing this on purpose. Like he could have just blown another plane up or like struck everyone down with a heart attack, but he wants this chase.
He likes the build
wants
up.
this to happen.
Okay. Yeah. No, it does seem. I mean, like this is like I think someone said it. Maybe the reviewers, that it is a slasher without seeing who the slasher is. I definitely get that.
Yeah.
Corporeal. Learning a new word.
That's
today.
what we're gonna call her.
I think it's corporate slasher.
I
is
think
what
it's
you mean.
corporeal.
Killer.
Corporeal.
Corporeal.
No, I like that aspect of it, and yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It's a
just
fun way to think about it.
So, can you guys confirm just real fast, like, does Death try to cover up all of the killings, or is there just a couple of them that he try, or, intervened
Right. No,
in?
I think it's really only Todd's.
The rest of them is just like, whatever.
Well, there's the
it's-
locks. There's the locks in the car when they're trying to kill Carter. I know it's a little bit later here, but does that mean, like, is that why they set the house on fire? You know,
Well, yeah,
like
no,
that
that's-
kind of a thing. Maybe that's part of the cover up.
That's why. Well, maybe, yeah. But it also goes in the fact and a funny way too, where he is just going scorched earth, and like you're
He
saying,
doesn't
where
care
he's just
anymore.
like, fuck this. Okay, the gas, the knives, so like whatever. I'm killing this.
Well,
bitch
I'd like to
tonight.
think that
the John Denver.
they emphasize they emphasize that
a
that
clinch.
death
Yeah.
has to
He
happen.
turned it back. He's like, I need more of this. This is. He's like, I'm gonna have her like rewind that. I want some more John Denver.
She
actually.
bumps into it.
Yeah, it did. It did. He made her bump into it to restart the John Denver album.
It's like Peter Weller listening to what band while he was doing the cocaine shootout.
Yes, I do like to think though,
Huey
because
Lewis in the
they
news.
emphasize that death has to happen in an order. So I like to think that no one in the world has died. In like in the 40 to 50 days that this is going on, because death has to kill these people first. He's
backed up.
It's this weird thing where like no one has died
He's
because he's
focused
like,
on these
God
guys."
damn it, I gotta kill these guys first because it has to go in order.
He's like, this is really putting me behind for my vacation coming up.
That's why he finally gets them done. He's like, fuck it, I'll come back and I'll get them all done.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Like,
or no,
yeah.
that's why he kills them all. And he's like, he gets some weird like upper management says, dude, just leave those 3 for a while. You got to go get the backlog right now. He's
Yeah,
like,
like-
fine, I'll go do
like,
it.
It's like a police station. It's like 2 weeks with pay.
Yeah, like someone who, like in a freak accident, like goes skydiving
Yes.
and like the parachute fails. There's no way they could have lived, but they do.
But they did. That's what's
they're-
happened to all those
Yeah.
people.
I love
like
it.
someone gets shot in the head. There's like, I'm not dead.
Every time, like the amount of time like doctors have been saying like in this last like 39 days is like, I don't know, he should be dead, but
That's my sequel. That's
Your,
what I
your
wanna see.
grandma's 120 years old, and
Yeah.
she's just not going, man.
boy,
I
she
don't
is
know.
just yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. Pew-pewed in the head, not shot in the head.
Yeah.
No. You can say death on this show. It's,
Okay.
that person died.
Unalive.
They're dead. They died.
They died.
Okay, scene 4. The remaining survivors reunite while driving through town as Alex explains the situation. Alex saves Carter from being hit by a train at the last second, but the train knocks shrapnel from the wreckage into the air, decapitating Billy. Thinking he knows how to cheat death, Alex goes to a cabin in the woods to hide out.
Before this, a little bit that you did get Daniel Roebuck as Detective Ween, and then Shrek interviewing Alex because they caught him outside of Val's house, and he's just more creepiness. He's just like, there were a couple moments there where I almost believed him.
Don't take this the wrong way. You're fucking creeping me out.
What?
He is a bit of a creeper, dude.
It's like it's he is Alibaba like O.J. Simpson. In this,
Oh
you know
my
what I
God,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
Wow, yeah.
He's like an unfunny.
Not scared by killers?
See? Oh, the glove
It is fun.
fits.
That scene is funny though, because they're basically like, Alex, can you promise me that if I let you go, no one else will die? He goes, no. And they're like, all right, fine. See ya.
Get on
All right,
out here.
well, then I go.
Good enough for us, buddy.
Good
I
enough
mean,
for us, bro.
That was my best card. That's all I can think of at this point.
That's all I have to detect right now.
Yeah.
That's it.
I,
That's all I have in me, man.
I do like
do.
this moment of Carter. I've hated him this whole movie, but this idea that he, like, I feel like this is the way to go. This is like a metaphor for life. Like, we are all going to die. It is the one thing that we all know. These guys now know it as well, and they're freaking out about, I got to prevent it. But Carter goes, fuck it then. I'm just going to drive my car as fast as I want. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, I actually love this moment from Carter.
I do too.
Because they want you to not like it. They want you to be like, no, Carter, wait, we got to get together and save ourselves.
Slow down.
If this happened to me, I would be Carter. I'd
Yeah,
be
it's
like,
a good.
fuck it.
You're right. It's a good metaphor to just be like, yeah, it's coming for all of us. It just so happens to be very soon for you.
Which could be for any of us. Like, we just
Yes,
don't know.
exactly. You know, like even then, like just the shred of not believing Alex. You know,
Yes.
it's still the same. So just fucking
Yeah.
just drive your car fast. Fucking whatever.
Yeah, these are the
Just,
moments.
just come to terms with it. Put Train on like knew you were listening to. I
Yeah.
know you switched it to Nine Inch Nails when you came around and saw us, but
Drops
just
of Jupiter in her head.
go back to Train, bro, because we're going to the Train.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man.
Oh,
You
shit.
set yourself up. Man, we are good.
Dude, man.
We're having
Serving
a good
it up.
time. This is fun. Everyone's having a good time listening to us. Logan's
Yeah.
having a good time.
Loving it. Guys,
Train scene.
Yeah.
can we also talk about more of his shitty taste in music? What the fuck is this song as they're driving up to pick up or find Alex?
I don't know.
And stuff.
I don't remember it.
Oh, and you could have finished
Oh, yeah.
a bit, and I'm doing like a chant, like a
It's
witch,
the-
and we're going, dong, going. It's like, what are
No,
you?
I hated this.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
It's like, get some new music, man, or clear. Like it's like we got to go find Alex. Here, I got some music we can listen to.
It's like straight out of The Craft, you know. Boom. It's like a witchy song.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of but character moments that I appreciated, I did like Claire's explanation too of like, well, my dad died, and then my mom went off the deep end, and then like basically they didn't want me or anything, and it's like if that was death's design, then fuck death.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. No, that actually makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
because if that's the design that we're talking about here, then yeah, that's bullshit. And I like that. And I like that it led into like Carter's thing too of him controlling his own destiny. If I'm going to go out, it's on my terms. Makes a lot of sense. He does seem like a kind of a crackpot, and Billy just seems like more of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's frustrating.
To talk more about Carter in this moment too, like where this whole buildup of him being like this shitty, you know, I can't stand he's having coffee right
Yeah.
now. That kind of, or just like immediately punching him when he's freaking out on the plane, you know.
Whatever.
Like, obviously he's very insecure about
Yes, he is.
his own self, and it really comes to culmination right here where he's like, well, I'll just live, you know. I do like that the film like kind of justified all that.
Yeah.
We knew where that was
Yes.
going, but I'd like that it's a good moment. You're
Yeah.
right.
I thought it was another funny thing where they're like Carter, this isn't the way, and like Billy took forever to get out of that car. I need to make a note of that really fast. He takes forever. He's like,
Dude, yeah.
it's dark in here, and I don't know these old cars and stuff.
Manual locks are hard.
Manual,
I know.
and but then there is that moment where Carter's still sitting there, and he's like, he shuts the car off. He's like, it's not my time. Yeah, fuck. Ah, dang it, no. He's just like, dang it. That was funny to me. Was like, it's not my time. It's like, all right. Sounds good, Clint Eastwood. Like, there goes your cool moment.
Carter, the train's coming. Whatever.
Whatever.
I don't even care, dude.
Whatever.
Whatever. Seen one train, seen them all.
Trying to make out like, with my car.
This is my like most ingrained in my head death though.
Yes.
The train decapitating him is fucking wild. You notice how that train doesn't stop? That
Nah.
train hits the car,
It's
which
got
it
more
probably would
things
have
to
tried
do.
to slow down leading up to the car, and then it just kept going.
Yeah, a hit
Got
and,
places to be, man.
a hit
Is
and run.
that death's in the cab? Be like, you keep fucking driving.
Yeah.
You just keep fucking going.
Keep going, or I'm
I
gonna-
see a picture there. Is that your dog? I'm coming after your dog unless you keep going.
Maybe he'll eat something fucked up.
Yeah,
You know?
I
Unless
feel
you
like
keep driving. Because I got some shrapnel to send it across a guy's head because I already foreshadowed it. So
Yeah.
that's the way he has to die.
okay, all right. Maybe he looked back on like the tapes.
Death is from Wisconsin.
Yeah, all right. He's from Fargo, and it's just like, but maybe Death was like looking back on like the tapes, and he saw that shot of like the plane going across like Sean William Scott's face. He's like, "That's how I'll do it. I'll cut that idiot's head off. All right, I'll write that one down. Okay, all right, fine." But like, no, I think a hit and run though is a bit different for a train. You don't just run away from it. They're just gonna look back and be like, "Yeah, you hit a train or hit a car. Why didn't you
Yeah.
stop?"
Yeah.
And like,
That was the PL22.
no, train spotter over here.
Yeah, he
Mike.
loved it.
No wonder this is Mike's favorite.
I
scene.
would have been actually, if this was really high school and I was there, I would have actually been parked off to the side watching the train.
Yeah.
Be like,
You had
get
the-
off the track!
The weird camera on your head, like that one guy.
Oh,
That is me, guys. I swear.
You get blood splattered on you. It's like, oh, it's a PL2.
oh, he did it. Oh, wah, wah. And then-
Can I bring up at this point the death skipping people when like they do evade it and like going back into the order? What do you guys think about that?
It's just it sounds like it's like I like to think he just Alex made that up and then Death overheard him. He was like, yeah,
No,
that's what it is.
Dude, you're absolutely right, because what the fuck? How do you know the order that people die on that plane?
So
His stupid little map makes no sense. It's as if there were little bombs underneath people's seats that went off first before the whole plane got engulfed in flames.
that was the other part that frustrated me in this. It's like the news is saying, turns out a series of explosions along this gas line and gas
They
tank.
would never
and this,
say that.
And this is how it happened. And
If your loved one was sitting in this seat, chances are they were blown up before the plane blew
they
up.
probably died first.
Ooh.
And if your loved one was sitting over here, they died very gruesomely.
Oh, God.
So I hope you know that. And it's just like they wouldn't do that
They
on
would
TV.
never
Tune in at 9 o'clock tonight. We're going to tell you how a baby died on this crash. It was the last to die. It fell very, very far.
Yeah, the Lou Gehrig's guy, he suffered.
Yeah.
Like, they're literally...
I don't know how to put it any other way.
I don't know how to tell you this, but he died.
Tune
a
in at 9
gruesome
when we
death.
find out how Lou Gehrig's disease guy figured.
He doesn't have a name.
He suffered.
God.
He suffered.
Jesus. That's what I'm saying. It's not funny.
Ew.
Suffered. There's no other way to put this.
There's no other way to put that more at 9.
Thanks, Terry.
Weather on the 8th.
I will say this too, like you see the whole sequence of events in the original plane crash. You know, you see the whole sequence of events of people dying one by one. You know, and like the fuselage breaks out and shit like that. And then when the plane does explode, it just explodes.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like malfunction. And maybe we just don't see it. It's off screen. You know, but like even Death Proof, Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof, he shows like the car crash and how people die one by one.
Right.
I just think it's a really cool cinematic touch, and it's also a good like device for the film to just keep like trying to one up itself.
Yes,
you know,
correct.
like okay,
We
so
kinda need it.
There is a way to defeat death ish, or there's a way to delay it, and it's to cheat it, but it's still gonna come back.
Yeah.
You know. It just raises the stakes for me a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it does. My favorite thing that we get out of it, of this line of like how it's supposed to happen, is the question of where Alex falls in the line, right? Because whether or not he moved seats or he didn't move seats, and like how him kind of figuring out like, would I be next or would it be Claire or whatever. I think that was fun.
Yeah.
And it added some good tension there too. So, but other than that, him being in the cabin is honestly hilarious to me. And like the moment of him saying tetanus, creative. It's like, dude, he doesn't have time for you to die that slow.
Yeah. So death
He
is
is on
I love
a
that idea,
frickin'
though.
clock.
Death is gonna get the rest of them like super swiftly, you know, like cutting off someone's head or something, and he's just gonna be like, yeah. 3 to 4 weeks.
He wants Alex to suffer.
Tetanus.
He wants Alex to suffer.
Yeah,
Alex has
maybe.
been the whole catalyst on this whole thing.
He's
So
playing
you
a
gotta make
long
him suffer.
game on Alex.
It's like I bet he doesn't have any. I bet he doesn't have any shots for it.
Yeah.
You know?
His parents are anti-vax.
Anti-vaxxers. He did his research. He's like, aha!
Yeah, this is where I'll get him.
His parents were anti-vaxxers. That's tetanus.
I always watch anytime I have
chickenpox.
a chance. I watch Cinema Sins on YouTube for a movie that we're doing, and it makes me happy because a lot of the times we're pointing out the same things. I've already got my notes, and I'm like, Cinema Sins thinks the same way I do. In this one, he got me to spit out my drink. I was drinking, and he said something along the lines. He's like, Claire says there's a cabin in the woods, my family's cabin. It's a couple of miles from my house. He's like, what's the point of having a cabin in the woods a couple miles from your house? Just live in the cabin. Let's go. I was like, it's like, yeah, when you have a cabin, you want it to be like just far away from civilization.
Where I can get away.
This is like you can still hear the city a couple miles away from your
You
cabin.
can still hear your dog
house.
barking.
He runs back home. He's that close. He can just run out of the cabin and go home.
Like, what's the point?
I just laugh so hard.
Also,
at that.
what if it wasn't death that got them? Like, what if it wasn't this like elaborate thing that death created or like set in motion for this? You know, like how the whole Rube Goldberg thing. What if it wasn't death? What if it was just like a tornado?
That's what I'm saying.
Is that death?
No, it has to be like, why couldn't he just be like, all right, fuck it. Here's a derecho. Like,
Or
we're
like I'm
gonna
saying,
kill him.
not even him. Like some natural disaster just like happens. And,
Death is in control of that.
And death, is that like a knock on his quota?
Well, I
Is
think
that like, well, technically,
I think he gets
you didn't get him.
residuals. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he gets residuals from Mother Nature.
It was a part of his contract originally.
Right.
Yeah.
He used to date Mother Nature. And
Yeah.
like, they're still cool, but like...
It's a different department, but they work for the same agency.
Really, she calls him up. She goes, "Hey, derecho coming your way. Like, we're gonna claim at least 5 to 6 people. Here's their names. So, just can you get out there? Can you make sure they're in the right spot for
And
that
it-
window to break and
and
shards
it's
to
a-
go through their throat? Thanks, man.
It's a bummer for him because he's like, God dang, it's like it's just more overtime. I've got to put in more work on
Why
this.
are tornadoes always at night?
Why are we doing a tsunami? Why are we doing this a tsunami in New Zealand when it's freaking April? What the hell is going? Oh my god!
This is unseasonable.
Yeah,
for this kind
guys,
of thing.
we're not making any sense anymore. He's been running this up the chain for a long time, but nobody's listening.
You know how much paperwork all this is?
Yeah.
For God's sake.
Final scene, boys. Alex begins to realize that Clear.
Papers out of the basement.
For Satan's sake.
Alex begins to realize that Clear is actually next. He rushes to her house to save her while being pursued by the FBI. Death is trying to get Claire by electrocution. Alex grabs a cable, allowing her to escape from the car just before it explodes. 6 months later, Alex, Claire, and Carter travel to Paris. Fearing that their struggle is unfinished, Alex is almost hit by a bus. Carter pushes him out of the way at the last second from a falling sign, but the sign swings back down towards Carter and kills him. Death is a sick fuck for using a dog as bait to get Claire out of the house.
Very true.
Yep.
He's desperate at this point.
At
He's
this
not
point, he's
messing
like,
around.
this dog's the only way she's going to come out of this house. So if that dog dies, it's not on me, man.
Yeah.
He's like, look, if that dog dies, it's not on me. It's like, yes, it is, Death.
You're the one
Yes,
claiming
it
it
is.
if he dies.
You are saying
Died,
oh,
death.
Oh, there's a little resemblance there. Bug, Nat. It's like, dude. I don't know. Like this whole rush of going in and then like the cable, the pool, everything that's like falling around it. I want to go back to what you had said, Sean. It's like, what if it's not really that? Like, what if actually none of this actually is death and it is just it's just them overthinking it and like they're causing all their own problems.
I love it, dude.
Like,
actually, well, did you hear there's an incredible, like, I guess it's a fan theory. It's just a way to look at this on Reddit by a guy called Hunting the Wumpus. I want to read this word for word because it kind of goes with what you were just thinking. He says, in the Final Destination films, it always starts with a group of characters narrowly avoiding death. As the film goes on, each of the characters die a gruesome and unlikely death in the order they were originally going to die in the first accident. Throughout the series, we're told that this is death seeking to claim those who escaped their appointed demise. This, however, makes no sense at all. Death, even as a cosmic entity, could easily strike people down with something like a heart attack or a stroke at any time. It doesn't require Rube Goldberg construction machinery coincidences to make it happen. I think the real cause of these characters dying is us. We're the ones who want to see them die horribly. In fact, these films exist specifically because enough people want to pay money to see these characters die in unusual and cruel ways. The entire Final Destination universe is a dystopian reality which exists for the sole purpose of amusing and entertaining cruel and sadistic gods. This isn't even an unusual view. The Mesopotamians believed the gods created humans as a drunken jest just to have weak, ridiculous, stupid creatures that can make suffer for their own amusement. We, you and me, are the malevolent gods who are causing the characters in the Final Destination films to suffer and die in terrible ways.
That's
like a
really
like a fourth wall.
yeah. That's
Fucking
really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
By the act of you just watching the movie. If you don't watch the movie,
If you don't watch it, they're not going to
gonna
die.
Yeah,
Oh,
Schrodinger's
it's so
cat or
cool.
whatnot, like kind of an idea.
Yeah.
If you don't watch the movie, you don't know what happens. You don't get to see it. It doesn't happen.
These
technically.
characters don't even really exist if you don't watch this movie.
right?
I just love that view. Just kind of
That's
like
really
I love
cool.
It makes
Yeah.
more sense than Death being like, okay, if the clock falls and then he slips, and
Charlie
then-
Day in
Yeah, it's like
Philadelphia.
That's basically what it is.
Okay.
There it is. Death in the Final Destination movies is Charlie Day.
Yes.
This is what's gonna fucking happen. He's just-
I'm making it tonight. I'm making that meme right now.
I really like that a lot. And
That's really cool.
I love that.
and I love how like this movie really teaches you that if you're wanted for murder because your bloody hand and footprints are at a crime scene, as long as you almost die by electrocution, it's fine.
All
Like,
good.
Well, hey,
You know what? You almost died.
your key witness got decapitated, so they don't have anything to stand on.
We got nothing here, man.
Yeah.
Go to Paris. It's fine.
Just get
You know
out
what?
of here.
Death has a point. I'm a forgiving death. I'm a forgiving detective. If you went out of your way to save your friend, I'll let it go. Val was gonna leave town anyway.
Come on, let's talk about it. Let's go have fun. Go have fun. Go have fun. You earned it. You earned it, babe.
6 months.
6 months, bro.
6 months after this bullshit, you're gonna go on a fucking plane.
Can we talk
And
about
be pretty happy about it.
Good God.
Can we talk about how? So here's what the thought process has to be then, as we're told, while they're sitting around this table in France. That means that they feel like since they got skipped, then it's no longer after them,
Correct.
right?
And then all of a sudden 6 months go by and nothing bad's happening to you.
Sure.
You might believe it.
Took another vacation.
Fuck.
But that's the thing is like,
Had some PTO saved.
no matter what, if you think, oh, it skipped me, there's no way that Alex just goes back to like seeing like the leaves rustle and it's just like, oh, everything is death. They're all three of those kids are going to be in like
Mental institutions.
mental institutions.
100%.
They're not going
Doesn't
to
that happen in the
The
okay.
second one,
They don't
Allie,
get over it.
Allie Larder, Claire is she just puts herself in a padded room.
Good.
And
'Cause
like
she's like,
anybody
"This is
that
the only
comes
way
to visit
I'm
her,
safe."
she has like a strict regimen of them getting like strip searched, like nothing on them. Yeah, it's actually a cool detail in the second one.
Okay.
It's actually cool.
Honestly, it sounds like the second one could be better than what the first one was.
It's like way gorier too, isn't it? Like
It's-
they upped the ante on it.
Yeah, it's like it's like Evil Dead 2. They just like took the same kind of premise, obviously, and just got a bigger budget and ramped it up. I like it better. But as we'll see, I do like this one as well.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think about the final thing of them sitting around the table, I guess? Is it just we're here?
Actually, the original ending was basically like there was a romantic subplot between Alex and Claire that was deleted, where it turned out that like they had sex and like made her pregnant, and he died in the electrocution, and it ends with her like and a baby going, well, like, gosh, thanks to Alex, we were saved, and we'll remember you forever. And like, I actually kind of like that better.
There is a detail in the sequels that only new life can deter death, and so it's said that like I think it's introduced in the second one.
I think so, yeah.
Where if you have a baby with anyone in this group, I guess has a baby, it like kind of just negates death.
And I know it didn't test well, but I like that better than the like, it's back.
I mean,
Well,
you like it now.
Correct, but at the time you may not have.
like what this movie was made for, like
Yes.
these teenagers, they made these specifically high school students so they could get that demographic. You got to have the
you
last
gotta
little,
end,
yeah.
and then make them be, like you got to leave the theater going, oh fuck, fuck. You're right.
Be careful driving home, fuckers.
And they don't want to tell high schoolers to be like, dude, just go fuck and have babies, and then you'll be saved.
yeah, dude. Fuck, man. Fuck abstinence, man.
Yeah,
Death,
bro.
death wants life.
Dude,
all right?
that's dead ass.
Dead ass, bro.
That's no
So,
cap for me.
No cap for me, bro.
fire, babe. The one thing that I noticed actually, now that you say that though, about like a deleted scene or something, she goes from like they go from like just being friends or like people who know each other to her calling him baby.
Yep, exactly.
Real easy.
Oh, yeah.
Real soon.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's just like he's getting wheeled away after he's electrocuted, and it's like, oh, we don't know if he's gonna live or not. It's like, so I guess you guys were pretty close, known each other, dated for a long time, huh? It's like, no, like 45 minutes. That's how long we've been together, and that's it. And there's no jump of like romantic moment for them to just be like in this
Correct.
together, and it would just make more sense if they had that moment there, and then at the end we realize that they're going to be together and that kind of a thing. It just kind of made it a little bit of a disconnect for me too. So.
I liked it just because it's a little sweet, and I like Ali Larter, and I love Devon Sawa.
Yeah.
But for me, it just happened. What we didn't see, it happened behind the scenes of them.
Sure. And I buy that. Yeah.
No,
she visited the cabin a lot.
It was kind of implied when he's putting the corks on the nails. That was him putting a bag on.
Another one for the list, baby. Notch on the bedpost.
Yeah, dude. And he did it twice. That means they did it twice.
Yeah, doggy style.
First time was over pretty quick, but give me another try.
Yeah, come on.
Well, boys,
Life.
Anything else to say about Final Destination?
Yeah, that last song's terrible.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we have dissected it with a modern day. We got to give it a modern day rating. AJ, what do you think about this film?
By the way, that last song certainly implies that thing about the baby, because the lyrics are like, "When I die, go away," and it says, and then it's like, "A new one will come, a new life will be born," or something. And it's like, yeah, that's a pointless fucking song. So, do I like the movie? It's okay. I actually probably do like it more than when I saw it originally. I didn't care for it. I didn't even care to hardly really watch it when it was sitting right in front of me. That being said, it gives me a lot of those like 90s vibes, that nostalgia. It does bring some of that back in like in a good way. It feels a little disjunct, and so I want to. This is a movie that I want to probably actually like more than I actually do, because I get too hung up on the things of like, is death a real thing? Is he covering his tracks? Is he actually like making the attempts? Because it's not consistent throughout the movie, and that's what's really frustrating me as I'm looking at it critically. So, other than that, like, I love the casting, and it's got a lot of like early 2000s, late 90s just fodder to just chew on. So, I think it's fun, but I don't think I can do much more than actually, what did I give Scream? I'm gonna go look. I gotta look what I did Scream.
No, you want to do Scream?
No, don't look.
Scream's a 5.3.
Scream is a 5.3. Then I'm gonna give this then that's actually perfect, because I was originally going to do this anyways. It's a 5.5.
Oh, more than Scream. Okay,
yeah.
buddy. Sean, what about you, man?
Yeah, I think that the cast is amazing. I fucking love Devon Sawa.
Yeah,
I
man.
think he's amazing in everything he's in. I want him to have some sort of a renaissance.
Yeah, totally.
I want to see him in more movies. I think he's been in a couple, and he's been really good in them. So I want to see him in more. But I like the premise a lot. I even think that the premise might have been taken from a 1984 movie called Soul Survivor. It's directed by Tom Eberhardt, and it's about this woman who is the sole survivor of an airplane crash, and people, like, she keeps seeing like the ghosts of the people of the crash come visit her. It's a really fucking cool movie, and I think Jeffrey Reddick might have taken some from this. Maybe not. I still like it. For this time, you really didn't see anything quite like this as far as like a pseudo slasher would go, where it's just death coming after these kids. I think it's well directed, and music's fine for me. I like it a lot. I compare these movies to kind of just like a popcorn kind of experience of just like seeing it in a theater and having a fucking great time and staying with you after the theater, you know, quite a bit. Like just, what was that? You know, could have taken that turn. Maybe you did. Whatever. I think it's super interesting to kind of think about. And I compare it to like Gone in 60 Seconds or movies like that, like Fast and the Furious. So I'm going to give it a 7.4.
7.4 from Sean. Yeah, man, like this was obviously way better than my initial viewing. It's a lot of fun to think about the stuff we did talk about, like what is actually happening here, but also at times it's too much. Like they just overthought it at times, but like this movie deserves so much credit for what it did. Like this is ingrained in everybody's mind. The truck with the logs on it, and like like, you know, I mean it's a unique premise. It really did some cool stuff. So as far as horror movies go for me, like it's definitely getting higher up on the list. I'm going to give it a 6.6.
Nice.
We got to check out Josh Miller. He says, after all these years, this movie ultimately is no better or worse than it was originally. In a way, that is a really good thing. I'm sure I could look it up, but of all the movies covered, which one has the highest increase in score from nostalgia to modern day? That's actually a really good thing that we should probably look up.
Yeah.
It was a unique plot with a decent amount of thought put into it, but I'm surprised how much more I remember of the other 4 than this one, and I've certainly seen this more times. The tanning bed, the log truck, I guess that was number 2. Being critical of the movie, a bunch of the deaths that happened in this one are at some level feasible. They are wildly unlikely. While electricity can be very dangerous, modern wiring and circuits would prevent quite a bit of this from happening. Again, it's plausible if the homes were all built pre-1975 and had 0 electrical upgrades. Why was that bus going so fast? That piece of metal that cut off Stifler's head certainly defied all laws of physics, again, being very critical of it, but still enjoyable. As for the actors, it was kind of a who's who at the time for up-and-comers, and most of them fizzled out or were typecast. I'm looking at you, Sean William Scott, although I loved him as Country Mac and It's Always Sunny. Ali Larter stuck around and had a decent career, but none made a huge mark in Hollywood. Tony Todd, while well-known in the horror community, most couldn't put the face to the name. When I was doing some of the interneting for this movie and during the opening credits that it was directed by James Wan, I was like, no way, the Conjuring universe guy? Nope, that's James Wan. Yeah. In the end, fun movie, enjoyed going back to it. Modern day score dips, but not by a lot. 5.99. It's just not quite deserving of a 6. So that takes us as a group to a 6.37. Not too bad overall. 6.37 is going to land this tied with The Running Man at 127th spot. Just for reference, Tremors, we thought Tremors was a little bit better than this, and we thought Twister was a little bit worse than this.
Wow, okay.
Is how we thought.
That is great company for this movie.
I feel pretty good about it, man.
Fine.
Well, thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks so much. Tune in next week. We're going into Napoleon Dynamite territory, and we're following that up with the original X-Men from 2000. And if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year, Blazing Saddles.
Oh, yeah.
That is a fantastic fun listen. I think you should check it out.
Oh, yeah. Gene Wilder. Gotta love it. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. Make sure you're checking us out on YouTube at this moment in time. We get to hang out in the studio, and you get to hang out with us. Leave us a review. We like it when you leave us a review on podcast platforms, or leave us a 5-star rating. We do appreciate that as well. Most people don't even subscribe when they're listening to a show, so hit the subscribe button too. And by all means, check us out on social media. Anywhere on social media, check out Confused Breakfast social media.
Go to confusedbreakfast.com to see the merch that we have. In that, you can give us money, and we will send you an item, like a shirt, or
wow.
a koozie, or a sweatshirt, or a fuselage of a plane. We'll give you one for money, obviously. And then you can go to the confusedbreakfast.com as well to see the ratings of the movies that we have covered. You can see AJ's ratings. You can see my ratings, and then you can see Mike's ratings and the show's ratings overall, including our executive producers. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye. Be careful out there.
Support the show, patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. Also, click the links of any of our sponsors. That is one of the best ways you can support this show, by getting a discount, using our code, getting a cool product, and helping us out. Yep. We are produced by Upload Media Group in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Learn more at uploadmediagroup.com. We got Logan back on the controls.
Oh, God.
And we are on the Cloud10.fm network. Please learn more at Cloud10.fm. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye. Logan just avoided death, and that means...
Oh, it's one of us. Who's next?
Just edit in like a tiger getting me or something.
A tiger mall?
Tiger? What did you say? A tiger.
It's in the budget.
We got tiger budget.
We got tiger budget.
How's our tiger budget looking?
Pretty good.
Thank you.